The first one that I did was a waterfall hike, and there's still people that show up at my events now that were at that first event. So, and I've also connected with people and gone on, walks outside of the group as well. So that's been, I mean, honestly, what I was in it for, to connect with other people, to build the community as well. And so that's been one of the most rewarding parts for me.
What do you do when you come out as LGBTQ and love the outdoors? What do you do when you see the outdoor space ruled by older white cis men and desire a diverse community of outdoor lovers? Accept it, change it, create it. I am Justin Yoder, and this is LGBT Outdoors. Hey everyone, it's Justin, and I am here with my co-host for tonight's episode, Patrick Thompson.
Hey everybody.
How's things going over there?
It has been a year so far, and we're coming into the tail end of it. Going to wrap up with some cool stuff and think happy thoughts about the year that has come to pass, including, okay, hang on. Like, I'm sure you have stuff that you want to talk about, but I want to talk about this real quick. You were doing some work on the ambassador website, or the web page on our website, that displays all of our amazing ambassadors from all across the country. And you kept like scrolling down and scrolling down and scrolling down. And I was like, holy crap. How many people have signed up and volunteered to be an LGBT Outdoors ambassador? And there's a lot of them. Like, we've like doubled, I think, in 2024 so far. And I know that there's still a lot of people that are lined up, knocking on the door. And tell me if any of this is wrong, Justin, but I was really, really floored and surprised and super excited to see, just because like I'm not involved in the day-to-day operations of the LGBT Outdoors Ambassador Program, and to see all these fantastic, amazing, incredible folks volunteering in their local communities to support our mission and get the queer community outside was just like, dang, that's so cool. So like big applause to you and to Cherie and to Oded, I believe, who are making all of this, making all of it work and grow. So super cool. So yay, big applause.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I'm not even sure exactly how many ambassadors we have right now, just because like we have a whole team that is running that department now. Cherie being the ambassador program manager, and then Oded being on there, and Brody and Krista as well. So we have a whole team of 4 people that are making the ambassador program run and operate, and super excited because a lot of changes are about to happen to that's going to help the program run smoother and just a whole lot better. So
awesome.
Yeah, excited for things happening over the next few weeks. Hopefully things will be happening really fast, but there are things that I wanted to talk about too. Being one of them is we launched a new program called the Trailblazer Society.
Yeah.
And it has really taken off. And basically what it is it's a giving platform for LGBT Outdoors. And every successful nonprofit has a giving platform. And I know a lot of people maybe, don't like hearing the ask for people to join and become members and whatnot. But the truth is, I believe that our community really believes in what we are doing. The proof being we launched this just back in September at LGBT Outdoor Fest. And the response that we had of people signing up was incredible, way more than what I was expecting. And so I believe that our community is going to keep stepping up and help fund this to be able to take it to even new levels. So we have several different levels on there, and there's some cool perks as well. T-shirt that you can get, a tree planted in a national forest in your honor, different
Which
things
is super
for different.
cool.
Yeah. So different things in different levels. So if you go to lgbtoutdoors.com, click on Trailblazer Society in the menu, and you can learn all about it there and really help make a big impact in our community and in the outdoors. Yeah. And the other thing that's really exciting that's coming up is we are trying really hard to get our 2025 adventure trips solidified. And our goal is to be able to have those announced by December 1st on our website.
Ooh, a little teaser there.
We might not have all the details for them, but we'll have at least the locations and the dates for those by then, so people can start planning their 2025 trips with us, which is really cool. We did 2 this year, Alaska, which I can say for sure Alaska is going to happen again in 2025. And then we just got done with a trip to Big Bend National Park in Texas, which was an incredible trip as well. So keep your eyes open. Good things are happening.
I've heard some of the locations and plans being floated around, and I want to go on like all of them.
Yeah, same. Well, we have a guest that is going to be joining us tonight, and I'm glad that you started off with talking about the ambassador program, because our guest today is one of our ambassadors, and we are going to start featuring more and more of our ambassadors on the podcast, because they are taking our mission straight to their communities. They believe in the mission of LGBT Outdoors, and just have the heart, desire, and passion to be able to help lead events in their communities and represent our organization. So tonight we are starting off with Cameron, who is one of our ambassadors in Washington State. And he has been killing it up there with some incredible events that is always making me jealous and wishing that I was up there to be able to go along with them. But welcome to the podcast, Cameron. We're excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we always like to do when starting off a podcast with a guest is get to know you a little bit. So we can go as deep as you would like with this, but share a little bit about who you are, like growing up, maybe where you got your love for the outdoors.
Sure.
Just introduce our listeners to you.
Sure. Well, my name's Cameron. I'm a transgender man from Washington State. I was born in Tacoma, and I've lived here my whole life. My love for the outdoors started from a very, very young age. Probably when I learned to ride a bicycle, honestly. Ride a bicycle, walk around outside, and just explore and climb trees, building forts, all of the above. Just really, I appreciated the solitude of it and sharing it with friends, just everything about it. Went on one of my first hikes in elementary school, and just been wanting to get back into it. Didn't go back until my early 20s. I always struggled with social anxiety and whatnot. So my early 20s, I just decided I wanted to get back out and got into it, and just couldn't stop. So it's been a real lifesaver for me.
Love that. It seems like a lot of our ambassadors got involved with the outdoors at a young age, which is really cool to see. Do you have any like memorable experiences you had while exploring the outdoors, maybe in your youth, or I'm sure you have since becoming an ambassador, and we'll get to that down the road just a little bit. But what are some key maybe experiences that really solidified your love for the outdoors?
Really just exploring the neighborhood. I was always outside from the time I woke up until the time I went to sleep. I lived next to this, community that was building a recreational complex at the time. And we used to go out there a lot and just explore the big mountains of sand and just everything that they were building out there. And it was just a passion that I had and carried with me.
That's awesome.
So cool.
Do you have any adventures or trips or anything that would be the top of your bucket list that you would like to do?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that I have on my list. The next one I have coming up is going to be a railroad hike, actually. So that one I haven't done, but it's a historic site, and it's got some nice views, and so I'm really excited to share that one.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Hey, I want to rewind just a second. You said that you climbed a lot of trees when you were a kid, and like that totally gave me some big time flashbacks. I used to love climbing trees as a kid, and I just thought of the question, like, why do we stop?
Yeah, I don't know. Fear of heights, I guess. I climbed some tall trees with no gear, and I think back now, like, man, I was lucky.
But like, as a kid, I guess you don't know better, and it's wild and it's untamed, and you just go and you do it. But I guess the burden of reason, as an adult, like, I might get hurt, or people might look. I don't know, but that's kind of sad. I think, or for me anyway. Like,
yeah, to an extent, it can be. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but
that's because you never want to grow up to begin with. So,
well, true, 100% accurate.
Well, who does?
Yeah, but, that's cool. No, I just wanted to ask you about that because I feel like that's such a staple in so many people, whether they are like big time outdoors folks or not. You grow up and you climb trees, or I don't know, us people in our 40s did anyway. Like, what we had, Nintendo was about like the biggest toy, like when I was like a kid. And I guess youngins have like their tablets and their phones and all that stuff. So maybe they're not out climbing trees. I don't know.
Probably accurate, unfortunately, but maybe we could have change that a little bit. Cameron, you did mention that you are trans, and one of the things about us is we are so welcoming to all of the queer community and want all the queer community and believe that visibility is super important. And we have a lot of people that listen to this podcast and some that email us saying like, I live kind of through your podcast because I never feel like I'm going to be able to truly accept myself or be able to come out. Can you share, or okay with sharing some of your journey about self-accepting and what that looked like to you?
Sure. I mean, I've known that I was different from a very young age too, and it wasn't until my probably early 20s where I really started meeting people in that side of the community. And I guess once I learned what my resources were and what I could do, there just really was no question that that's truly how I felt. And I was terrified to start, of course, because I do have social anxiety, but I just knew that it was something that I had to do. And it's probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
That's awesome. There's no better feeling than being true to yourself. That's for sure. And like, even when thinking about when I came out in 2010, it felt like my whole world was imploding at the time, but little did I know, like, it was leading to the road that would make me the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I want that so much for everybody. And so totally breaks my heart when we get messages when people feel like they never will be able to fully come out because of either where they live or family won't accept them or whatever the case might be. But if anyone is listening and that's you, know that there is a path to be able to fully be yourself out there, and everybody's path definitely looks different, but it is so freeing to be able to be you,
For sure.
Love to jump in a little bit with your role as being a LGBT outdoors ambassador, what kind of inspired you to become an ambassador for LGBT outdoors?
Well, a couple of things. You know, my passion for the outdoors was definitely a big one, and then I've always had kind of natural leadership qualities. So just because being an older child, I'm not sure, but just kind of struggled to find the right outlet to use those skills too. Because you know, employment it wasn't really my thing to be in a leadership role there. So this has really given me an outlet to not only use those skills, but to use them in a positive way and to give back to the community. And I love what you guys are doing, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
That's very cool.
Love it. A good question for you, and this kind of gets a little bit personal. As someone with social anxiety, how do you deal with leading groups? That's a challenge for sure, I think.
Sure. I mean, I just go with it, though. I mean, I've led crews. I've been a leader at work before, so when I have that role, I'm able to step up in the right situations.
Sure.
Of course, I get nervous when the first meetup happens, but I mean, every single time it's a natural experience, and it always feels just like a family kind of group. So it's kind of been easy for me in a way.
Awesome. And I like hearing that because when we do LGBT Outdoor Fest or even our local events here, we get that a lot. Like strangers come together, and within a very, very short amount of time, it's like we've known each other forever. Like it's something about our community and the people that join up, at our events. There's just something natural about everybody is very disarming. Everybody like it's just an instantly safe kind of a scenario.
Yep.
So I'm thrilled that that's going on. That's the deal in Washington as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and the key word that I love that he said in there was the family part of it, because like we do always talk about this being a community, but so many of our chapters turns into family. Like these are the people that they end up becoming lifelong friends with. They end up going and hanging out outside of LGBT outdoors events, and they've just become great friends and family. And it's really cool. I got an email the other day from somebody, and he was like, "I'm interested in getting involved, but I'm wondering if I'm older and wondering if you have anything just for older people." And it was a great question, but my response to him honestly was no, we don't, because we look at this as a big queer family, and some of us are older, some of us are younger, some of us are black, some of us are white, some of us are gay, some of us are bi. There's just this whole big mix of family, and his concern was about slowing people down on the hike. And I'm like, look, the speed of the hike is not what it's about. It's just about us getting together in this beautiful group and getting outside together. So sometimes our hikes are go really slow, and that is 100% fine. And sometimes they go a little bit faster, and depending on the event, same thing. But the key thing is we're together outdoors, because there's so much that we can get from each other. As younger people, there's things that we can get from the older ones, and different life experiences and everything. And just this magic happens together when we're outside together. So no, we don't split things up as far as ages or anything that's specifically for men or trans or non-binary or gay or lesbian. We keep everything together because we are just this beautiful, sometimes awkward, weird, beautiful family. Curious, like you've done quite a few events by now. What have been some that has impacted you personally, or maybe something that has happened that has impacted you personally while on one of the events?
I mean, all of them have been memorable, but I would say just the first one that I did was a waterfall hike, and there's still people that show up at my events now that were at that first event. So, and I've also connected with people and gone on, walks outside of the group as well. So that's been, I mean, honestly, what I was in it for, to connect with other people, to build the community as well. And so that's been one of the most rewarding parts for me.
Love that. I mean, that's so much about what we're about right there.
That's exactly what we're about right there. It's working.
Yeah.
If you're looking for high quality tents, sleeping bags, or backpacks at a price you can afford, well, look no further. We're proud to partner with Sierra Designs, a leading provider of innovative outdoor gear. Outside of offering high quality premier outdoor apparel and gear, Sierra Designs supports game-changing organizations like LGBT Outdoors. To learn more, visit their website, sierradesigns.com, and enter code LGBT Outdoors to receive 25% off your entire purchase. Winnebago Industries is a leading U.S. manufacturer of outdoor lifestyle products. Their goal is to help their customer from glamping enthusiasts to off-road explorers embrace the outdoors through one of their recreational vehicles, powerboats, or pontoons. Winnebago Industries is proud to partner with leading industry and outdoor-oriented organizations such as us, LGBT Outdoors, who share in their desire to enable extraordinary mobile experiences for everyone. Together, we can all be great outdoors.
Did any of those people that came on your first event that are still involved, did you know them beforehand, or
No.
were they all new? Or
No, I mean some of them I did, but the very first one, no, it was all new people. I believe there was maybe just 3 of us, and those 2 came on events after that one. Sometimes friends that I know will be able to make it and they've attended, but there's been a mix of new people as well.
awesome.
That's fantastic.
Speaking of like new people, like, is there things that you do to help create like an inclusive and welcoming environment to new people that are coming?
Yeah,
Obviously, we try to reach out to people that may not even know that they like the outdoors yet. I mean, we have a wide variety of people that can come to the events, and hopefully we're introducing new people to the outdoors, which can be intimidating, especially when you're thinking about identifying as a queer person and getting into the outdoors. Anything specific maybe that you do to help make them feel welcome into the environment?
I mean, I try to start with introductions and, ask everybody's pronouns so that we're all on the same page and everybody feels like it's a safe space. I tend to try to ask everybody questions to make them feel like they're included. And then I also like to ask, what other outdoor activities that they're into, so we can kind of bridge any similarities with those things.
That's awesome.
Nice. Like one of the things that like I'm acutely aware of, just because I am terminably awkward, and I get nervous in like new situations, but like we're all aware that showing up to an LGBT Outdoors event for the first time, can be really uncomfortable. Who are these people? Why are we all going walking in the woods or whatever we're doing together? And I'm hoping and I'm believing that the bulk of it, like I was saying, it is like instantly disarming and welcoming and warm. But like sometimes showing up is very much an act of bravery. But like, convincing yourself to drive to the trailhead, convincing yourself to get out of the car and walk and meet a bunch of strangers, like that's a bold move. I'm hoping that the payoff, when people are allowing themselves to be that brave, that I'm hoping that the payoff is well worth it. And that they instantly feel like safe and welcome and wanted. And it sounds like you're doing that, and you've got some fantastic techniques to, include people right off the bat. So that's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about some challenges maybe that you face? Have you encountered any any challenges or barriers in outdoor spaces? And if so, how did you overcome them?
Um, I thought about that one pretty hard. It's kind of tough to think about barriers because here, with the social anxiety thing aside, getting out there, we have a really welcoming community here of people that are outdoors. In my experiences, at least, everybody's been very helpful and very welcoming. Even strangers on trails have been very nice, and found that kind of comforting. And that's also what keeps me into this kind of stuff as well. But yeah, my main challenge has just been this social, just overcoming and building connections, mainly for me.
Yeah. Washington definitely seems to be a more open and progressive state than a lot of others, for sure. So I love hearing that for you guys, and that it is a place that can be a little more welcoming than some other states and some other areas that we have ambassadors. So,
yeah. And I can also speak. I got to go on one event. It was over a year ago, just outside of Seattle, with Brooke Fiskus leading. It was a miniature golf. It is a really cool setting, like gorgeous outside, like mountains in the background. But had I not known better, I would have sworn that group had been like super duper besties for years. Like they had the vibe of like brother and sister, but also like best man at the wedding, kind of like we are this close and we're just out cutting up, having a blast. So I just remember that the Seattle area LGBT outdoors group just seemed like super just chill and like really friendly. So that tracks with your comment about Washington.
It's awesome.
I think you kind of elaborated a little bit too on like personal growth and sense of well-being in the outdoors, but is that something that you've noticed since becoming an ambassador, even more so maybe, about how being in the outdoors can affect your sense of well-being?
Not necessarily. It's something that I knew, I would say noticed over the last 10 years or so. And when I came across this group, it was nice because I had never seen anything like it before, and it was kind of exactly what I needed. So it just kind of, the pieces just fell into place at the right time.
That's awesome. Love hearing everybody's story as ambassadors, and a lot of them, like, because of where we're at right now, and we have such a big team that's helping with the ambassador program. I don't get to talk to all of them as much as I would like to and get to know them on the level I'd like to, but just hearing people's different stories and where they're all at, I think it would be amazing someday if we could just bring all of our ambassadors together for like a retreat or a trip or something, just because there's such diversity and such amazing stories among all the ambassadors. And I think that would be incredible to be able to do.
So if you're a grant writer and you want to help us fund that, please let us know.
Yeah, that would be incredible. For you personally, why is representation in the outdoors important, especially like among our community?
Well, it's definitely important. Like, for the reason, like you said, like, it feels like family. There's a difference that I've noticed getting outdoors, and not that I segregate communities. I have all friends of all different walks of life, but there's a difference when it's within our community, and it's hard to really explain why that is or how it is, but there's just that comfortability that when people are comfortable, they're more receptive to take in information, to learn, to be able to be themselves, and all that matters.
100%. I could have said that better. And like when we started this, I think it was in 2020 when we started with the ambassador program with just 2 ambassadors. We had one that was down in Houston, and his first event, he did a fishing event, and they were all hanging out underneath a bridge fishing together. And I think there was about 10 to 12 of them. And I know that there was a lesbian couple, there was some gay guys, there was I think a non-binary person. There was a guy that was not out yet. Some were fly fishing, some were conventional fishing, and they were all underneath this bridge, listening to Britney Spears, of course, while fishing. And the ambassador, Jacob, asked them, how many of you have ever gone fishing with another queer person before? And every single person said that they never had.
Yeah.
And is it okay to go fishing with straight friends? Absolutely. Of course it is, obviously. But it might not be as fun. No. But when you get to do that kind of thing with your own community that can relate to more of the struggles and who you are as a person, there's just a sense of belonging happening and connection that just takes things to another level. So
definitely.
Yeah. How do you feel LGBT Outdoors is helping to kind of navigate who belongs in the outdoors? And
I think it's super cool. Just watching everything that you guys are doing, and how fast it's growing and whatnot. It's really cool seeing it all come together and seeing everybody from all different parts of the world, and then realizing how big it really is when you see everybody together. It's like when Pride Fest comes around, everybody's there, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. One of these times too, we're going to have to be sure that you can make it to LGBT Outdoor Fest, because I don't think you've made it to one yet, right?
No, my finances are pretty tight, but it looks like fun.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, but that's kind of just a really cool experience to be able to even see things kind of on another level, and on another level, but also a different level. Because the ambassador program, we always say, is the heartbeat of LGBT Outdoors. And I will always stand by that, because
100%.
there are so many people around our country that's being impacted directly by the ambassadors, people that we would never see or know about. LGBT Outdoor Fest kind of brings people all together in one area, and it's just an incredible time for sure. I'm curious, do you have any hopes for the future of LGBT Outdoors and the ambassador program?
I mean, just to continue helping out would be my hope. I'm not sure, I don't have any ideas necessarily, but my hope is just to be within and help out where I can for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Wow.
And these events that you're doing, that's exactly it. And it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Anything that you think that we could do, or ways to support LGBTQ people in nature? And I know that Washington is a little different state than a lot of other places. So it's kind of goes back to the other question that I was asking, but obviously visibility is an important thing, but I'm just wondering from your point of view in being an ambassador in Washington, what that could look like.
Well, one thing I've noticed is just different skill levels. There's all different skill levels and different activities. And something I've heard doing this is some people maybe aren't sure if they can make it on some of the hikes, or they're afraid they might be too slow, or different things like that. And so just being supportive of different people's abilities, I think, and skill levels makes a big difference too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that there's a balance there to be accessible to as many people as possible, but also on occasion, having an event that is more physically challenging or more rigorous than like most people might be down with. But I think as long as those things are clearly labeled, and that way we give everybody the opportunity to, have their skills challenged while still being able to safely dip their toes into new skills and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I know that you have an event coming up. You want to share with everyone what event that is in case there's anyone in your area that's interested?
Sure. Yeah, it's going to be a railroad hike, and we're going to be going on November 24th. Going to be starting at 8 a.m. It should go till about roughly 12 o'clock. And yeah, we're going to meet at the trailhead. There's restrooms at the trailhead. It's open to all ages. Pets are welcome. It may or may not rain. We're hoping for a dry day, but nonetheless, it's still going to be a well-maintained trail. And bring an umbrella, bring a headlamp. There's going to be a 450-foot long tunnel that we'll travel through. So I'm excited to see that.
How
yeah,
cool.
it should be pretty exciting.
Is this a closed track?
Closed by, what do you mean?
Like it's not in use anymore? It's like a retired?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
It was intended to help with World War I, and then it was the war ended. They didn't no longer need the service by the time the railroad was finished, completed. So then they opened it up to a trail. So people
very
use
cool.
it to explore. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. How far, do you know how long the trail is?
I would have to go back and look at my notes. I believe it was about 11 miles or so round trip. It's not a loop.
Okay.
It's an out and back. So it's about 4.5 or so each way.
Okay.
I think it was about
good
400.
hiking shoes and some water.
Yeah,
and
maybe
snacks.
waterproof shoes, definitely a waterproof jacket, and maybe an umbrella if you want, camera, but try to stick to just the basic necessities and not carry too much.
Yeah, love that. And if anybody's interested, you're up in the area or you want to travel up there for the event, if you go to our website, LGBT Outdoors, and then click on events, local chapter events, you can search for the events in Washington and be able to check it out and get signed up for that. And there's also a Washington state Facebook group, and you can just search for that on Facebook, which is LGBT Outdoors Washington, and it should pop up for you. Cameron, if people want to get connected with you, what's the best way they can do that?
You can find me on Facebook. I'm Cameron Loomis on Facebook. If I don't pop up that way, you can join the Washington State LGBT Outdoors group, and you can definitely find me there.
Okay.
Cool.
Are
and,
you
I will put links to those on the show notes.
Instagram as well, or
Yep.
just Facebook?
You can do both. I don't really use Instagram too much. I do try to promote the events there, but I'm not active on there a whole lot.
Gotcha. Okay. Very, very cool. Patrick, do you have any other questions for Cameron as we start to wrap up?
I don't. Well, I'll ask kind of my go-to that I love asking people, and this can be about your experience in the outdoors in general or as an LGBT Outdoors ambassador. But have you had an experience that was like just surprised you and like in a good way? Maybe like it took you back and just made you kind of stand there in awe, or something funny, or just something that like kind of stands out like you were not expecting?
Well, I mean, one of the last events I did was the Skyline Trail. We went for a sunset hike, and on the way out, we happened to see this very full, bright moon, and got some really, really good pictures of that. Ended up hiking out with moonlight in the mountains, Mount Rainier National Park. So that was pretty cool. First time ever doing that. So it was awesome.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Jealousy is real.
That's the worst thing about our positions, is like seeing all these amazing events happening around the country and not being able to go to them all. But that's incredible. Well, as we wrap up, I have one last question for you, which is what message would you like to share with anybody that might be interested in becoming an ambassador for LGBT Outdoors?
Yeah, I would say if you're interested, definitely apply. It's definitely worth looking into if it's something you ever thought about doing, and don't be afraid. Just try it out.
Excellent.
Awesome.
So to everybody that's listening, you've got kind of an inside look from one of our ambassadors. And the ambassador program, we basically ask for a year commitment of doing some events in your community and being an ambassador and representing our organization. If you're interested in learning more about that, again, you can go to our website, lgbtoutdoors.com, and then click on Become an Ambassador. You can read more about it. Request an application. If you want, you can connect with Cherie, who is our ambassador program manager, or myself, and would love to answer any questions for you. Our goal is by the end of 2025 to have ambassadors in all 50 states. So we are well over halfway there, and excited to see it continue to grow. So
and
Cameron,
hang on real quick. And this is to Cameron and all of our LGBT Outdoors ambassadors. Genuinely, like from the depths of my heart, thank you for what y'all are doing. I know that this is a volunteer position, and this takes like time and effort. But the impact that you're making with your local community, I don't think you will ever fully see like the depths of how you're touching people. And so like, if nobody ever tells you thank you, I want to make sure that you, Cameron, and all of our ambassadors know how not only how crucial you are to like our mission and our organization, but how grateful we are for everything that y'all do. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you.
Love it. Cameron, thank you so much for joining us, for sharing your passion for the outdoors, for being an ambassador. I hope that more people will learn about our Washington chapter up there through this and get involved. So again, like Patrick said, thank you for everything that you're doing for us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in again to this episode of the LGBT Outdoors podcast. We hope that you enjoy it. And until next time, get out there. Thank you again for joining us this week. If you have a campfire conversation story you would like to share, please email it to us at info@lgbtoutdoors.com. Follow us on Instagram at LGBT Outdoors and join the community at facebook.com/groups/LGBT Outdoors. For more information on today's episode, check out the show notes. For information about LGBT Outdoors, LGBT Outdoor Fest, local chapters, or to sign up for our newsletter, visit lgbtoutdoors.com. And if you're enjoying the show, please rate, review, and follow wherever you listen to podcasts.